We'll start in a couple of minutes. Okay. So in our previous class, we have discussed about the pollination, different types of pollination, what are the advantages and disadvantages of the self-pollination. Do you think that the self-pollination has any advantage? Self-pollination, it will take place in what kind of plants? What is the important character that should be there so that the plant can show self-pollination? Okay, you can open page number 39. Okay, we have discussed in the previous class, right? Self-pollination, when can self-pollination occur?
So when the flowers are on the same plant, or it is a complete flower with having both male and female reproductive parts.
Yes. The flower should be bisexual, that is, it should have both male and female reproductive structures should be there. So if they are unisexual flowers and they are present on the separate plants, then do you think it will be self-pollination? Okay, the plant is showing, for example, only male flowers, staminate flower, and other plant is showing the pistillate flower, same species. So if the pollination is taking place between them, whether it will be self pollination or cross pollination?
The cross pollination.
Cross pollination, that is, the flowers are on the different plants, then it is cross pollination. In the same plant, if it is there, whether it is the same flower or different flowers on the same plant, it is a self pollination. So it should, the flowers should be bisexual and they should show homogamy, that is, both male and female reproductive structures should mature at the same time, then self pollination can take place. So today we will discuss about the cross pollination. Compared to self pollination, in cross pollination we will get more better varieties. Is that true or false?
Yes, sir. True.
True. So we can get better varieties, newer varieties by cross pollination. Okay, so we can select some plants with say some very good fruit yielding properties, and the other variety you will choose which is having disease resistance, and then if there is a cross pollination between them, you may get a new variety which is having both the properties. So that's how cross pollination is very useful. So the main this cross pollinating flowers, how they will look, they will look very dull or they will look very attractive.
It's attractive.
So very
Attractive,
attractive.
because cross pollination has to take place between two separate trees or plants, and they may be very far from each other. Okay, so we need some agents that are going to transfer this pollen from one plant to the another plant. So generally they may be insects or wind or different carriers, we will see. So for that purpose, to attract these insects, the pollinators, the plants need to produce the flowers which are very attractive. So here, large flowers with open petals and exposed reproductive structures are called chasmogamous flowers. Such flowers they require the external pollinating agents, and therefore they undergo mainly cross pollination. So here the term here is the chasmogamous. Chasmo, chasmogamous. Chasmogamous flowers means these are not closed type of flowers. Okay, we will see that these are the two types. One is the chasmogamous, okay, and other is the clistogamous. So here chasmogamous means it is the open flower. Okay, the flowers are open so that the pollinators like insects and they can come, and they will in the search of the nectar, they will inadvertently they will carry the pollen in them. Okay, they will carry the pollen and they will go to the other plant. So this is examples like in hibiscus and oxalis. Now what is the advantage of the cross pollination? The offsprings are healthier, the seeds produced are abundant and viable. We say that it is healthier because newer and better varieties will be produced by cross pollination. The seeds produced are abundant and viable. Generally what happens is when there is a self pollination, there is a very high chance that the seeds that will be produced, they will not be able to germinate, they are not viable. Okay, they will have a lot of defects, lot of problems will be there. There is a basically at genetic level. But when there is a cross pollination, then they, what we say, there is a hybrid vigor, that is it will have much better variety, it will be able to produce more viable seeds. The newer varieties will be obtained by the cross pollination. So these are some advantages and disadvantages. Pollination is not always certain because they will be very long distance and they have to depend upon the pollinators. Therefore the success of pollination, percentage pollination, is less. Lot of the pollen that is produced will go waste. Okay, because not all pollen that is produced will go to the target stigma. Okay, they will get wasted. A huge amount of pollen has to be produced, so therefore it is uneconomical. So generally when the flower when the plant decides that now it is the time of flowering season, okay, at that time most of the resources of the energy of the plant will go into that, producing these flowers and making a lot of pollen, okay, so that they can distribute. So it's uneconomical as compared to the self pollination, but advantages are there, new varieties and all can be produced. The nature favors the cross pollination. Why? Because in the cross pollination newer and better varieties can be produced, and therefore the better varieties will have the very good chances of survival. Therefore nature will always favor the cross pollination. Just like we saw that bisexual flowers and homogamy, they favor the self pollination. In the same way, the factors that are going to favor cross pollination we will see. Okay, there are terms in this one. When you are listening to the class, please write and practice also. Okay, it's not just passively listening, that is not going to help. The factors that favor the cross pollination, number one is the unisexuality. So in the case of self pollination we say that bisexual flowers should be there, but in the case of cross pollination it is unisexuality. That is, whether monoecious plants or dioecious plants are required for cross pollination. Who will answer? Monoecious or dioecious plants? Monoecious means what? Previous chapter we have studied monoecious, dioecious. Flowers are called bisexual, unisexual. Okay. Plants are monoecious or dioecious. Monoecious means whether they will have both. One. So whether they will have both male and female reproductive flowers, or they will be on the separate plant, male and female flowers.
So the same plant.
Yes. So here when we say unisexuality, that means they will be borne on the separate, these male and female flowers will be present on the separate plants. So that is a dioecious plant. Okay, page number 36 we have seen earlier. Dioecious plant means the male and female flowers, okay, male and female flowers will be on the what? Separate plants. In A, in B, they will be separate. Okay. So example is the palm and papaya. In cucumber and different types of gourds, the male and female flowers may be borne on the same plant. Okay, that is monoecious. But whether it will be cross pollination or self pollination. You see, if the same plant is having the male flowers and female flowers, pollination took place within the same plant, whether it will be self pollination or cross pollination.
Self pollination.
Self pollination, though it is the different flowers, but it is on the same plant, it will be the self pollination. So this statement, in cucumber, gourd, etc., the male and female flowers may be born on the same plant. Okay, whether in this condition we say that the cross pollination it is favoring. If male and female flower is present on the same plant, whether it will favor cross pollination or self pollination? Self pollination.
Self pollination.
Okay, self pollination. So for cross pollination, we need this male and female flowers should be on the separate plant. Then only no there will be the requirement that some pollinators should be there. They have to transfer the pollen from one plant to another plant and all this cross pollination. The second one is a dichogamy. DICHO, dichogamy. These terms are important. In this particular chapter, these terms will be definitely asked. Dichogamy, different timing of maturation of the androecium and gynoecium. So this is opposite of what? Dichogamy is opposite of what gamy?
Monogamy.
Oh, homogamy. Bisexual flowers and homogamy favor self-pollination. Correct? Self-pollination is favored by two factors. One is bisexuality and other is homogamy. Homogamy means male-female reproductive structures will mature at the same time. Dichogamy means the male and female reproductive structure, that is the androecium and gynoecium, will have the different time of maturation. Okay, if the androecium matures first, it is the protandry. Proto means first, protoandry, androecium. Okay, and if the gynoecium matures first, it is a protogyny. Okay, there are two types in this one: protandry and protogyny. So in this one example is a lady's finger, sweet pea, salvia and sunflower, whereas in protogyny it is the custard apple and people. Okay. In either cases, cross pollination is the only possibility, because first the male here, for example androecium, is maturing, then there is no other possibility. The same flower we are not going to get the pollination, it has to go to the other one. So that is why protandry, protogyny also favor the cross pollination. Self sterility. So even when the stigma receives the pollen from the anther of the same flower, the pollen fails to undergo further growth. In such cases, only the pollen from another plant of the same species can complete the process of setting of the seeds. So same flower pollen, it will be sterile. It is not going to further undergo fertilization. Okay, this kind of condition will also favor the cross pollination. It will make the plant to produce the more characters that are favoring the cross pollination. For example, the ray florets of sunflower and orchids. These are the two examples for self sterility. So we already saw the ray florets of sunflower. It is an example of what type of flowers? Neuter flower. You have to revise all these things. Okay, you will have some small test will be there. No, I think you will be getting the notice soon, or you already received the notice. Okay, so there will be small test. So whatever this is being covered, questions will come from that one. You have to revise. So
Sir, MCQ, no?
yeah, MCQs will be there. So the ray florets of sunflower are the example of what? Neuter flowers. The next type is the hercogamy. Herco. Okay, Herco sounds something like Hercules or something. Hercogamy. So something that is very large, it is like acting like a barrier, a mechanical or structural barrier. Hercogamy. So the pollen and the stigma, they will be not able to contact each other because of some kind of a barrier will be in them. For example, there is a hood like covering the stigma that act as a mechanical barrier in example of a pansy and iris. So these things you can always check the internet. Okay, how these flowers and plants look like, pansy, iris. orchids. You can look at that one, and you can see the structure, how the mechanically the hood is acting as a barrier to prevent the pollen to sit on the stigma of the same flower. Okay, so hericogamy is another factor that is favoring the cross pollination. Heterostyle. Okay, hetero means we know different. Styly, now here styly means the height. So hetero, both the stigma and anthers will be at a different height, because they are not almost close to each other, they are at a different height. Then that also, it prevents the self pollination. Example in primrose and oxalis. So heterostyle means they will be different height. Okay, so, or either way it can be, this will be very high and this will be very low, whatever. So there will be different heights, so that is heterostyle. Hercogamy, hercules, something like a mechanical barrier. Okay, self sterility. Dichogamy, it is the time of maturation. Dichogamy, protoandry, protogyny, and unisexuality. So these five factors are there which will favor the cross pollination. Next, any doubts we have in this one?
Sir,
Yeah,
sir, why flower grows these things? Sir, it is better to do self-pollination.
better to.
Do self-pollination instead in growing such
That is,
large
you are telling
numbers.
self pollination. Instead of taking so much effort, so many mechanisms and all these things, why not do simple self pollination, make very small flowers. Okay, both anther and stigma are all very close to each other, so without any much process, even the flowers can be closed also. There is no need for the pollen to escape outside, simply the inside the flower itself, so the pollination will take place. This will make the things very easy, but nature always favors cross pollination.
Cross-pollination.
So there is a lot of effort that is going into it, a lot of energy is going to waste also in that process, but rewards are also there. Okay, so less effort, less reward. More effort is there, more reward is there, because the next coming generation will get the more better varieties, more better characters. Okay, there is a chance for better survival for that particular species.
Yes.
Yeah. Next, agents of pollination. Agents of cross pollination. Cross pollination requires some agents, because the plants are generally far from each other. Someone has to carry that pollen. So insect, wind, water, and artificial pollination, these are the different that are there in the syllabus. One is the insect, other is the wind, water, insect, wind, water, and artificial. The most common and most well known is the insect pollination. Technically it is called ento, ento, mo, entomo, phili, entomophily. Okay, or phylus, entomophilus. The plant is entomophilus, and this is called entomophily. Okay, so insect is the insect pollination, this one is called entomophilus flowers. And generally, because they have to attract the insects, they will be large, flowers will be large, brightly colored, they will produce some kind of a scent, lot of nectar, so that will act as a bonus, okay, for the insect to always keep coming back. And the pollens are also generally sticky or spiny, so that they will attach to the insect. The stigma of the flower will also be sticky, so that when that pollen that is attached to that insect, when it will touch, it should be able to grasp it, it should be able to take it. The flowers also generally tend to be in clusters, so that they will appear like very large, okay, because the insect that is flying around, we want to also increase its visibility. So instead of having small flowers that are scattered at long distance in the flower, in the plant, many flowers will be close together to form a cluster to increase the visibility. So these are all the different properties of an insect pollinated flower. But when we compare it with wind pollinated or water pollinated, it is very different. The wind pollinated flowers are called anemophilous. Okay. And the flowers will be generally small, they don't have to be so conspicuous. The main idea is because they have to be pollinated by wind, they have to produce a lot of pollen. That is the first thing. So very large quantity of pollen will be produced. Okay, point number 6. But the flowers, they don't have to be so much showy, they will be very small, they are not brightly colored, they do not produce the scent. And generally the stamens, they will be long and hanging out. For example, in the maize, it is very common, we can see in the maize that it looks like some long hairs are there. Okay, they are basically the stamens. And with the gentle wind also, it will allow the large quantity of these pollens to carry by the wind. The anthers are large and loosely attached to the filaments. The pollen grains are light, dry and smooth. They are not sticky as in the case of the insect pollination. The stigma, they are generally feathery and hanging out in order to trap these pollen grains. Because for the wind, they need to have some kind of filter kind of thing. So the stigmas are generally feathery and they will hang out. This is different from the insect pollination where stigma is sticky. Okay. So very simple basic characteristics which you can easily remember, not a problem. Okay. You can go through these ones. Okay. After the class, as I told, this chapter may seem to be a bit not so interesting kind of chapter and lot of terms only simply coming and all, but you need to revise the terms. These terms are very important. Okay, little bit small logics are there, you have to concentrate on them. There are a lot of examples, the examples will be asked, that is also one thing, examples will be asked and you have to tell that which type of pollination is taking place. Okay, that is a generally type of questions that are coming in this chapter. Okay, I will see you all in the next class. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.